press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello all, welcome to today's class. So today I am here with you with a new lesson. The name of the lesson is A Visit to Cambridge. So this lesson is about the two people here, Firdaus Kanga and also Stephen Hawking. You have already know that how the Stephen Hawking has shown a worldwide famous. He was famous because of because he was a scientist. And this Firdaus Kanga, he is a writer. So let's see what is this lesson is about. Here, before I am going to read, this is the story of a meeting between two extraordinary people, both of them disabled or differently abled, as we now say. Okay, so in this lesson, there is a meeting between two people. They hear the meeting between the two great people. So the name of the people are Stephen Hawking and also Firdaus Kanga, and they are differently abled, and you may also call disabled. Okay, and the Stephen Hawking is one of the greatest scientists of our time. So here in this lesson we come to know about the Stephen Hawking and also Firdaus Kanga. Stephen Hawking is one of our greatest scientists. He suffers from a form of paralysis that confines him to a wheelchair and allows him to speak only by punching buttons on a computer, which speaks for him in a machine-like voice. So Stephen Hawking, he was paralyzed and he could have to stay on a wheelchair. He means his hands, his body movements are not more. So the only thing he has to do, punching on the computer. Okay, so that means he just punch on the computer, so the voice says instead of Stephen Hawking. So it is called machine-like voice. Firdaus Kanga is a writer and a journalist who lives and works in Mumbai. So here Firdaus Kanga is one of another person here in this lesson. He is a disabled person. He is a writer and also he was a journalist too, who lives and works in Mumbai. Kanga was born with the brittle bones that tend to break easily when he was a child, like Hawking. Kanga moves around in a wheelchair. Okay, so let's see about the Kanga here. So Kanga was a writer and he was suffering with the disease called brittle bones. So brittle bones means the bones which is breaks easily, which is easily breakable. Okay, that is called brittle bones. That tended to break easily when he was a child. So that disease is what he was suffered. So when he was a child. Okay, and like Hawking, Kanga moves around in a wheelchair. So the two people, the Firdaus Kanga and the Stephen Hawking, they both are leading their life to always they have to stay on a wheelchair. Okay, this is one of a support system for Firdaus Kanga and Stephen Hawking. The two great men exchange thoughts on what it means to live life in a wheelchair and on how the so-called normal people react to the disabled. Here the two great men, they are exchanging their views, their thoughts, how the world react so when they are disabled, and how the people they could say about them, and how these two people they are leading their life in their own terms. Okay, so let's talk about here. Cambridge was my metaphor for England, and it was strange that when I left it had become altogether something else because I had met Stephen Hawking there. So Cambridge was my metaphor for England. Whose metaphor? Here Firdaus Kanga, because Firdaus Kanga is a writer, and here this story means this lesson is based on the conversation between Firdaus Kanga and Stephen Hawking. Okay, so when the Firdaus Kanga, he was visited to Cambridge, so visit to England, and there he decided to meet Stephen Hawking. Okay, so he becomes a writer here. So here you will say Stephen Hawking is a narrator. Firdaus Kanga is a narrator in this lesson. So he says, my metaphor for England. Metaphor means the word or a phrase which is applied to an object or an action which is not literally opportunities. Okay. So here, this is a phrase which is used by the Firdaus Kanga, which he get that opportunity, okay, when he was visited to England. And it was strange that when I left, it had become altogether the same thing else. Because I had met Stephen Hawking there. The one thing, the Firdaus Kanga, he was very happy because he met there Stephen Hawking. Okay, that was one of a great thing for Firdaus Kanga. Okay, then it was on a walking tour through Cambridge that the guide mentioned Stephen Hawking. Poor man who is quite disabled now. Though he is a worthy successor to Isaac Newton, whose chair he has at the university. So it was a walking in a Cambridge. So a guide. So he used to say to the Firdaus Kanga about a Stephen Hawking, and he also called Stephen Hawking a poor man. Okay. Then who is quite disabled? He says, who is explaining here? That guide is explaining about a Stephen Hawking, and he is also says poor man, and he says he was quite disabled, so he can't move. So a disabled means the person who is not move, or they can't go here and there. Okay. So this is, though he is a worthy successor to Isaac Newton, he is very talented, he is very gifted. Who is Stephen Hawking? He is very gifted person, because he become a Isaac Newton, means after the Isaac Newton, the next person they have seen, that is the Stephen Hawking. So he is very great, like a Isaac Newton. Okay. Then whose chair he has at the university. So he always in that university, who the Stephen Hawking, he is working for something. Although he is confined in the wheelchair, confined means he is restricted on a wheelchair, but still he is working for something. He is searching something, his goals, his ambition. Okay, this is, and I started because I had quite forgotten that this most brilliant and completely paralyzed astrophysicist, the author of A Brief History of Time, one of the biggest bestsellers ever, lived here. So he started moving to look for a Stephen Hawking, and he is also say that I had quite forgotten that this most brilliant is living here. Who is brilliant? Stephen Hawking. So the Firdaus Kanga is appreciating to the Stephen Hawking by saying that most brilliant, and also he is a astrophysicist. Okay, astrophysicist. So that is the scientist. Okay, then, and the author of A Brief History of Time, he has written a book. Okay, who? Stephen Hawking. So the name of the book is A Brief History of Time, one of the biggest ever seller book. This is, when the walking tour was done, I rushed to a phone booth and almost tearing the cord so it could reach me outside. Phoned Stephen Hawking's house. So Firdaus Kanga, he just went out after he's finished the tour in the Cambridge. So he eagerly went to the phone booth. Okay, and he was tearing the cord. Cord means, so when you pick up the telephone in your hand, so there is a wire. It is like wire based cord. So he just picked out, and he could reach me outside, phoned then Stephen Hawking's house. So who? Firdaus Kanga, he called to the Stephen Hawking's house. There was his assistant on the line. I told him I had come in wheelchair from India. Perhaps he thought I had propelled myself all the way to write about my travels in Britain. Okay, so Firdaus Kanga, he called to the Stephen Hawking's home. So there the assistant of Firdaus Kanga, so he was picked the call. He was received the call, and he says, who Firdaus Kanga says, so I came from India in a wheelchair. Okay, so I thought it would have propelled myself in all the way and to write about my travels in Britain. So because he was visited there, so he need to write his experience in his diary. So he need to visit to the Stephen Hawking also. So he is explaining, Firdaus Kanga is explaining about his intention, that why he has came to Britain and why he is wanted to meet Stephen Hawking. I had to see Professor Hawking, even 10 minutes would do, half an hour, he said. Then from 3:30 to 4, so he said like that. Okay, so Professor Hawking, I had to see the Professor Hawking. So who said this? Firdaus Kanga. So then he said only even for 10 minutes. 10 minutes, then I can do half an hour to you. Okay, who said this? This assistant was said to Firdaus Kanga that he has fixed the time for Firdaus Kanga to meet Stephen Hawking for only half an hour. Then, and suddenly I felt weak all over. Growing up disabled, you get fed up with the people asking you to be brave, as if you have courage account on which you are too lazy to draw a check. Suddenly he felt very weak. So in a one side he just very excited, and another way he just feel like a very weak. So why? The people, they were growing, means when he started growing, so the people, they were showing the mercy. Okay, and mercy, and they were showing the kindness. About what? Because he is a disabled, he can't move. They are showing the sympathy of disabled person, that is Firdaus Kanga. So that the thought came in his mind, with the people asking you to be brave, and they also use that you have to be very brave. Okay, you can't experience the, means you can't feel the pain of a person who don't move, who doesn't move, who can't go by himself. Okay, so he should be he should be dependent on a wheelchair. Okay, so here he was thinking about that, how the people, they are showing him you have to be in a very brave and you have to be very courageous. Okay, then as you have courage account on which you are too lazy to draw a check. So how much courage you need? It is very lazy to draw the check also from the bank. Okay, so this much he becomes a lazy. So because he is explaining the pain, Firdaus Kanga is explaining the pain, that so what is the feeling that a person is confined over the life in a wheelchair. Okay, that he couldn't go for his work. Okay, they have to depend on any other person or for a wheelchair. The only thing that makes you stronger is seeing somebody like you achieving something huge. Then you know how much is possible and you reach out further than you ever thought you could. And also here says you have to be stronger. Who? The people who are disabled, they have to be stronger in all the way. Why he says like this? Because he's seeing somebody like you. So the person, when the person is a disabled, and when you are looking that other person is he is doing very great in his life, and he is also the same way, he is also leading the life how the Firdaus Kanga is living. And when you see that the person is achieving more than him in something in a field, so then the feelings will be different. Okay, so who says this? Firdaus Kanga is saying here, I haven't been brave, said his disembodied computer voice. The next afternoon I had no voice. I have had no choice. Okay, so I haven't been brave. So these questions were asked by Firdaus Kanga to Stephen Hawking. Actually now he went to the Stephen Hawking home, and there he is asking question. So how much you need a braveness to face the people and to your life challenges. So then the Stephen Hawking says, I haven't been brave. So he thinks that, so Stephen Hawking thinks that, why I need a braveness? I don't want that braveness. Then said his embodied, unidentified computer voice. So who says this? Unvoiced computer voice. Okay. So here the Stephen Hawking, he can't talk. The only talking by the help of that machine-like voice, that is computerized voice. So that one is going to talk. He just punching that buttons. Okay. Punching or pressing that buttons. Then surely I wanted to say living creatively with the reality of his disintegrated body was a choice. But I kept quiet because I felt guilty every time I spoke to him, forcing him to respond. Now he is having a conversation with the Stephen Hawking. So he couldn't have the choice. He have to be brave. Who says this? Stephen Hawking say. So he has to be brave because he has to live his life on his own term. Okay? So that's not his choice. Surely I wanted to say living creatively with the reality of disintegrated body was a choice. The main thing is the reality is the body which is disintegrated, the body which it is not going to do anything by itself, itself. So there is no choice to him. Okay, then, and it becomes a creative thing. But I kept quiet because I felt guilty. Who? So when he says the answers like this, so Firdaus Kanga, he was kept quiet and he feels guilty because he just, whenever he used to ask the questions, so he's just giving a trouble to his body to punch the code, code on the computer screen. Okay. So this is the thing, he feels very guilty, Firdaus Kanga. Then there he was tapping at his little switch in his hand, trying to find the words on his computer with the only bit of movement left him, his long pale fingers. So here the situation is like, Firdaus Kanga is observing how the Stephen Hawking is responding on the computer screen. Suddenly he feels very irritated because he couldn't get the words to press. So there the Firdaus Kanga feels very guilty that he is forcing to the person to say something. Okay, so like this. Then every so often his eyes would shut in frustrated exhaustion. So means he is observing, Firdaus Kanga is observing how he is saying the words. Stephen Hawking is saying the words. So his eyes were like exhausted. He can't, like sometimes it feels like, so he can't say the answer. Okay, that one was observed by Firdaus Kanga, that Stephen Hawking is getting to be tired to press the buttons. Okay, so that one he could understand by his eyes. And sitting opposite him, I could feel his anguish. The mind beyond with thoughts that came out in frozen phrases and sentences stiff as corpses. Anguish means extreme pain. So he is sitting in front of Stephen Hawking, and Firdaus Kanga, he is thinking that, so he is in that extreme pain. Who? Stephen Hawking. Okay, but the mind working beyond the thoughts. The body, it is not cooperating with the mind. Okay, but the mind is thinking more than is thinking. Okay, then, and that came in a frozen phrases. Frozen phrases means the computerized words and sentences, what it is appearing on the screen. It is like a frozen. There is no life. There is no expressions. So like that it is appearing on the computer screen. Corpuscles means something dead. Okay, so these phrases and sentences are somewhat like it has a dead. A lot of people seem to think that disabled people are chronically unhappy. I said, I know that's not true myself. Are you often laughing inside? So now another question asked by Firdaus Kanga. So a lot of people think that the disabled persons are not happy. They are unhappy. Okay, so like then he continues his question. I said, I know that's not true. Actually, this is not true. They seems not to be happy. It is not true. Myself, are you often laughing inside? So he asked to Firdaus Kanga asked to Stephen Hawking that you are laughing inside. About 3 minutes later, he responded, I find it amusing when people patronize me. After 3 minutes, on the computer screen, the words were started appearing. So what it is? I find amusing. Amusing means funny. Okay. So who says this? Stephen Hawking say here. Not by the orally, by the computer screen with the help of the machine-like voice. Okay. So I find amusing when people patronize me. Patronize means protect or support me. Who feels amusing? So Stephen Hawking feels amusing. Funny to him when people are protecting him so much. Okay? And do you find it annoying when someone like me comes and disturbs you in your work? So this sentence asked by Firdaus Kanga. So when any other person like me, if they come and they ask the questions, are you feeling irritated? So that annoying means irritated. So like they are they are interrupted in your work. So at that time you feel very irritated. He asked the question. The answer flashed, yes. So Stephen Hawking says yes. He feels irritated when somebody interrupts his work. Then his smile is one way smile I knew, without being sentimental or silly, that I was looking at one of the most beautiful men in the world. So after he said the answer, he looked at the Firdaus Kanga. Okay, and that words, it is not in a sentimental way. Okay, so some person who is disturbing him, he says the frank answers. Okay, frankly he is saying the answers. There is no doubts here. So then Firdaus Kanga understood that, yeah, because he is sitting in front of the most beautiful men in the world. Okay, so who is that? Stephen Hawking. A first glimpse of him is shocking because he is like a still photograph, as if all those pictures of him in magazines and newspaper had turned three-dimensional. So suddenly he looked in a glimpse of him. First glimpse of him means he looked briefly in the first of looking. Okay, so it was like shocking because he is like still photograph. Still photograph means, so this Firdaus Kanga, when he was sitting in front of Stephen Hawking, and Stephen Hawking is like he is not only moving, his body is not only moving, or not only the fingers, not the hands, not the face, not the head, not the eyes too. It's not moving. So he looks like something like a still photograph, okay, which shows in a magazines and also in the newspapers. So how you would see that picture of Stephen Hawking in the magazines and in the newspaper. So the same thing when I look into the Stephen Hawking really, okay, he says. Then you see the head twisted sideways into the slump, the torso shrunk inside the pale blue shirt, the wasted legs. You look at his eyes, which can speak still, and they are saying something huge and urgent. It is hard to tell what. Okay, so he is describing, Firdaus Kanga is describing the Stephen Hawking's, the body, the way he is sitting on a wheelchair. Okay, he says here that his head is little bit twisted. Whose? Stephen Hawking's head is little bit twisted in a side way, and in the slump torso shrunk. Okay, so his body is in a shrunk, shrunk. Okay, so it has shrunk into the shirt. Okay, the blue, what is the color of shirt which was worn by Stephen Hawking? Pale blue color shirt he has worn. So in that, the body, it seems like it has shrunk inside, and they are saying something huge and urgent. Okay, so his eyes can speak only. Okay, whose eyes? Stephen Hawking's eyes can speak only, and it seems like they are saying it's very urgent, it's very important thing to discuss with him. Okay, this is about, but you are shaken because you have seen something you never thought could be seen. And after some time, your body, means your soul, it is going to be shaken. Why? Because you never had seen something in your life like that. I had seen and had experienced there. Who says this? Firdaus Kanga. Before you like a lantern whose walls are worn so thin you glimpse only the light inside is the incandescence of a man. So here Firdaus Kanga is comparing the body of Stephen Hawking to a wall. Okay, sometimes he just say to the wall, and another time he just say like an incandescence of a man. The body, almost irrelevant, existed only like a case made of shadows, so that I not believe in eternal souls. Know that this is what each is, everything else an accessory. So body is like eternal. Okay, the soul is like eternal. The body is thing, what is it is? It is only the accessory. Okay, it is only the things, it is only the part. But the main thing, what it is eternal? The soul. Okay, so now Firdaus Kanga understood this kind of a thing of life. Okay, when he met to the Stephen Hawking. Then, what do you think is the best thing about being disabled? I had asked him earlier. So now, Firdaus Kanga continues with his question. He continues with like this. So what is the best thing? What do you think is the best thing about the being a disabled? If a person is disabled, what is the best thing for a person when he was disabled? So the answer he says like this. I don't think there is anything good about being disabled. So Stephen Hawking says here, he don't think that being a disabled is the best thing. Okay? No, he doesn't feel like that and he doesn't think like this way. I think I said you do discover how much kindness there is in the world. So I think I said. So then again he continues. Firdaus Kanga continues with his question and he explaining that in this world we will get more kindness. Okay, because being a disabled person, Firdaus Kanga felt this one. Because everybody is showing a kindness and mercy on these people, on Firdaus Kanga, because he was completely disabled. Okay, this is. And then, yes, he said, it was a disadvantage of his voice synthesizer that it could convey no inflection, no shades or tone. And I could not tell how enthusiastically he agreed with me. So then, voice synthesizer means, so this is a computerized machine which is talks in the favor of Stephen Hawking, in the place of Stephen Hawking. So here that voice synthesizer, there is no voice which is give a tone or expression. There is no sentiments in it. So the Stephen Hawking is also explaining that how difficult it is. Okay, then every time I shifted in my chair or turned my wrist to watch the time, I wanted to make every one of our 30 minutes count. I felt like huge relief and exhilaration in the possibilities of my body. So when Firdaus Kanga, when he was having a conversation with Stephen Hawking, he feels very uneasy. He just seeing his watch for the time and he just moving here and there in the chair. Okay, so he is shifting to his position. Okay, then how little mattered than that I would never talk or even stand. Okay, so then he says the next question, means he is just explaining to the Stephen Hawking that it's the matter that he could never going to be stand and he never going to be walk. So he says, I told him how he had been an inspiration beyond Clinch for me and surely for others. Did that thought help him? So he gives the inspiration. He told that you are my inspiration. Okay, the inspiration beyond for me. It is very important for me. It's beyond of my thinking. For what? Because did that thought help him? So no, he said. I thought how foolish I was to ask. When your body is claustrophic room and the walls are growing narrower day by day, it doesn't do much good know that there are people outside smiling with admiration to see you breathing still. So he says no, he said, and then again he was thinking about himself, who the Firdaus Kanga. So body is growing inside day by day. It is shrinking day by day. So that it is a waste to ask to Stephen Hawking that. So, is it any inspiration when they are looking at the other disabled person, so they will get the inspiration. So, it is not good to ask this kind of question to Stephen Hawking. Then, is there any advice you can give disabled people, something that might help make life better? Who said this? Firdaus Kanga. So, Firdaus Kanga asked the question to Stephen Hawking that, so you give some advice to the disabled people. At least they could live their life with that kind of inspiration. So now, They should concentrate on what they are good at. I think things like the disabled Olympics are waste of time. So here Stephen Hawking say the disabled people, they could concentrate only what they are good at, not to participate in the Olympics, not in athletics. It is totally the waste of time, because the body can't participate in any sports. Then why they are wasting their time? At least they could concentrate on their mind work. So this one said by Stephen Hawking. I know what you mean. I remember the years I would spend trying to play Spanish guitar considerably larger than I was, and how gleefully I had unstringed it one night. So now he is just thinking about his experience when the Stephen Hawking say his opinion. So in other hand, Firdaus Kanga, he says his own experience when he was playing the guitar, when he was learning to play the guitar. So that guitar, it is very height, and in a particular night he just unstringed that guitar, okay, while he was practicing. Okay, so this is the half hour was up. I think I have annoyed you enough. I said, grinning, thank you for. So annoyed means irritated. So Firdaus Kanga says, okay, now I have took your more time. That's half an hour finished. I think I have given a irritated. More I have irritated to you. So it's time to say thank you. So then he says, then stay, I waited. I have some tea. Have some tea. I can show you the garden. So this one said by Stephen Hawking. So he said to stay for some time and had some tea. And he will show his garden to Firdaus Kanga. Who said this? Stephen Hawking. Then next, the garden was big as a park. So now Firdaus Kanga is explaining about Stephen Hawking's garden. So it is as big as the park. That garden is as big as the park. But Stephen Hawking covered very inch, rumbling along in his motorized wheelchair while I dodged to keep out of the way. Okay. So Stephen Hawking, he just roamed each and every corner of the garden. Okay. And he just following Firdaus Kanga, he is just following him, and he is not disturbing to Stephen Hawking by interrupting him on a wheelchair. We couldn't talk very much. The sun made him silent, the letters on his screen disappearing in the glare. So in the garden, both of them, they have not talked more, because the sun reflection on the computer screen, they can't easily see the words. The Stephen Hawking, he can't easily see the words. So it becomes glare. Glare means disappear. Okay, because of the sun's reflection, sun rays. An hour later, we are ready to leave. I didn't know what to do. I could not kiss him or cry. So after an hour, so they decided to move. They decided to leave this meeting. Okay. Then the Firdaus Kanga, he just thinking to kiss him, otherwise to cry, but he can't. I touched his shoulder, wheeled out into the summer evening. I looked back. I knew he was waving, though he wasn't. Okay. So then he touched on the Stephen Hawking's shoulder, and suddenly when he was looked back and he was waving. Waving means he says goodbye. Okay. When he was looked back into the Stephen Hawking, so he seems like that he wanted to say goodbye, but he can't. Who? Stephen Hawking. Watching him, an embodiment of my bravest self, the one I was moving towards, the one I had believed in for so many years alone. I knew what my journey was over for now. Okay. So now Firdaus Kanga says at the end, so the journey was very difficult, and now the first thing is he could have to understand his self. So after the meeting of Stephen Hawking, the Firdaus Kanga has learned so many things from the Stephen Hawking. Okay. So the main thing is understanding the self. That is very important. Okay. Although you are being a disabled or not, that is not a matter. The matter is how much you are understood about yourself. That is very important. Although this person, Firdaus Kanga, at least he had his hands. He could write. He could speak, he could say, but Stephen Hawking's conditions are very critical. Okay, so he become one of the inspiration of Firdaus Kanga. Okay, so this is the lesson. So I am going to end this lesson here. Okay, with this the line, I knew that my journey was over for now. Whose journey? Firdaus Kanga's journey was over. Maybe he will go for the other city to meet, but he learned something from after meeting the Stephen Hawking. Okay, Firdaus Kanga from Heavens on Wheels. Okay, so Firdaus Kanga, he wrote a book. The name of the book is Heaven on Wheels, which was written by Firdaus Kanga. So this story, means this incident has taken from this book. Okay, so this is about the lesson. I hope that you have understood. So here there is a conversation between the two people. Okay, the two disabled peoples who are confined in a wheelchair. Okay, so they can't move. They have to show their talent by their mind, and they have the conversation like he asks some silly questions. Sometimes he feels. Okay, because the Stephen Hawking, the way he just say the answers, it's very different. And when he says the answer, so this Firdaus Kanga is also understood the way he was answering, and for what sake he is saying like this. Okay, so today I am going to stop this lesson here. So we will meet in the next class. Till then, all of you stay home, stay safe, keep learning. Thank you.